This is the morning of October 11th, 2020. It's approximately 8:30 in the morning. I've just gotten into my shop. It's been raining overnight, and I'm filming one of the major roof leaks. It's dripping. It hasn't rained, I'm guessing, here in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, so the drip is pretty light now. Bruce has sworn to me this has been repaired. Tells me he's spent big money fixing it, and I've never seen a roofer go up here. I saw somebody come out once and look at it a couple weeks back, but nothing's been done on this. It's still leaking. It's making a lake under my truck. I can't even get my work completed on here because of the water that's under the truck on the floor now. And I'm going to pan down directly down to the drip, to the place on the floor, so we can all see what it's doing. And this is the water on the floor. I'll see if I can catch the water dripping into it. I think I saw it go down through the... There you go, you can see it hitting the floor. And you can see it's soaking this cardboard here. This is not oil soaked, this is actually water. It's from the floor, so it hasn't really leaked a whole lot, so it must not have rained really hard here. But I'm going to film the other leak over here at the top because it's leaking as well. And this is the other major leak. You can see the water on the floor here. This one actually leaks worse than the one over the truck. It has a much higher volume and it stops leaking first. Let's see if we can catch some water dripping into it. My camera will focus here. There, you can see it hitting. You can see just, there you go, you can see a big drip there. The shadow's kind of catching most of the drip, but I'm going to pan up to it. So we get all my stuff here so we can show Bruce that we're not lying about it, as he thinks I'm lying about this problem. You can see the water dripping in the frame. And there it is, right there. And that's our other water leak there. This panel here is collecting water above it. You can see the water drip through the frame there as I'm filming this. That's black mold that's growing up there. And Bruce tells me that this is my problem. When we first started with this, I was told I had to patch it myself if I wanted it fixed, and that we would take the material cost off the rent. And I'm not going to do that. We've already had one tenant in here by the name of Oz down in Unit 24 that went through that with Bruce and never got reimbursed. Then we got John Augusto Roofing. It's in this building that has done roof repairs for Bruce, and Bruce has refused to pay him for those repairs, and that's per his word, and he doesn't do any work for Bruce, period, now because of that. You can see the water drip there pretty good. It comes down all around this truss. It's most of you see, the easiest part to see just pools here on the truss. And I'm going to see if we can see anything down here. There's another leak that's right over my office door. It leaks right onto an electrical junction box right there. You can see all the water that's wetting the truss. And there's no water on the floor yet, so it hasn't pooled enough up there to come over the edge of the truss and drip onto the floor. Normally what it does when it leaks out of this spot, it goes down the truss to the other places and it starts to drip alongside them. It becomes its own thing. But I get some of the leaking areas here. You can see there's an area that leaks right there. It doesn't drip until there's a real heavy rain. This is a bad one when it rains heavy. The water that's coming through is actually forcing this insulation type material to come through, and it just turns this place into a lake. And a lot of this is leaking on electric. We have electrical conduit and junction boxes that are attached to these trusses, and we also have electrical problems in this building, and it's because of all this water leakage. And again, you know, Bruce doesn't want to do it. There's always some reason, you know, and you know, his biggest thing is he would rather that I go up there and risk my safety and do this inappropriately. And I'm not a roofer, so I got no business being up there doing roofing repairs. So I don't know what he wants in that regard, other than he gets free labor and free materials. And one of the other leaks that's pretty decent is generally right here. You can see all the rust holes in the roof where it comes through. And I don't see any water leaking through at this moment, but we're going to pan down, and it leaks right onto the floor, and it seems like it's fairly dry in here, so I don't think it rained too hard this morning. It was probably just a light rain. The 3 leaks that I showed in the film here, they leak pretty prevalently even in a light rain. A lot of these other ones, they have to get a good amount of rain and water pooled on the roof before it actually gets to them, because they're high spots where the water comes through. But this one here, this is a particularly dangerous area for this water leakage up in this area. Get my camera to focus here, sorry. This is all electrical conduit that's coming to a junction here and goes into the breaker box that's on the outside of the wall. And this water leaks right onto this huge box here of junctions. And there are like, I don't know how many units are wired into all of this, but there are just so much here that can just go wrong. And it's in my shop when it goes wrong. And the last thing I need is a fire in here. You can see my wonderful outlets that are broken that Bruce never fixed when I moved in. Let's see if we can get some of the other rust holes here, because all this stuff, it leaks like a shower in here. Get a little more detail here. See the wonderful shower drain that somebody put in at one time to try to alleviate the roof leaks. This huge area of dark spots, you see, these are actually rust holes. We don't have rust holes when there's no water leaks. Keep trying to tell Bruce that. And some of the big ones there got the little white circles around them because the water comes through and it's corroding the zinc, it's plating the steel. We'll go over here and see, we get water here. You can see on the thing it's coming out of the shop. So there's been a water leak here in the corner too, around these holes. I've got stuff piled here that it'll drip onto and it'll leak down. You see in the corner there. You just see this whole roof looks like somebody put a shotgun to it at one time. All the rust spots, those are some pretty good ones there. You can see all the little white holes around them. So that's my roof that doesn't leak. And again, this is October 11th at about 8:30 in the morning. It's the year 2020.